On tonight's Wales at 6, the state of Welsh rivers under scrutiny again as campaigners launch the biggest legal action in history. Also ahead tonight, a steel industry in crisis as tariffs grow across the world. What does it mean for the sector here? Plus, 62% of us are overweight. Tonight calls for quicker action to turn the tide on obesity.
And I'm at Swansea Arena for a poignant homecoming concert for one of Wales's greatest rockers.
Hello, good evening. I'm Carl Edwards. First tonight, Welsh Water is one of 3 firms being sued in the biggest legal claim ever brought in the UK over environmental pollution. The water company, along with 2 poultry producers, deny claims that they're responsible for extensive pollution in 3 Welsh rivers, the Wye, the Usk and the River Lug in Powys. Thousands of people have joined the group legal claim, all who work or live alongside the rivers. Well, Kate Lewis joins us now on the River Wye. Kate, give us a bit more detail on what the claims are actually all about.
Well, Carl, it's not the first time, is it, that we've reported on concerns about pollution here in the River Wye. You know, this river was once one of the cleanest, most celebrated rivers in the UK. It was famous for its salmon. That salmon is now at risk, and people here have had enough. The people who use the river, the people who live locally, they demand action be taken, and that action is coming in the form of legal action. It's one of Britain's most beautiful rivers, flowing from the Welsh mountains through Herefordshire and beyond. But campaigners say beneath the surface of the River Wye, the water is in crisis.
I sometimes cringe a bit thinking of the pollutants, especially stuff maybe coming off fields and whatever else could be in there. I know the Wye's meant to be one of the dirtiest rivers going.
Now thousands of people have joined the biggest environmental lawsuit in UK history, arguing that the pollution is severely impacting local businesses, property values and people's enjoyment of the area. The case is being brought against 2 poultry producers and Welsh Water. The accusation, allowing pollution from intensive chicken farming and sewage from treatment works to flow into the River Wye, Usk and Lug.
It's just, as an individual, you feel useless. But at least now that we've got 3,000 people standing up and saying there's a problem on the River Wye, actually makes me think that maybe something will get done.
The Welsh Government is wading in too, saying it wants to see faster, tougher action on agricultural pollution. It says it will take forward 23 recommendations to tackle it. For locals who live and swim here, this is welcome news. But in terms of the court case and compensation locals are after, Welsh Water intends to defend itself robustly. The water company says it's invested £70 million over the last 5 years on improving its sites along the River Wye and is currently investing £33 million on improving the River Usk. The poultry firms being sued alongside Welsh Water also dispute the accusations against them. The ripple effect of this legal battle could be felt far and wide as this river becomes a symbol of Britain's wider struggles to tackle water pollution.
So, Kate, what happens next?
Well, this lawsuit was filed in the High Court today and the defendants, Welsh Water and the 2 poultry producers, now have 28 days to file a defence. We heard in my report there that Welsh Water says it is very much going to do just that. But they've warned, though, that any compensation they are forced to pay will have repercussions in terms of what they will be able to reinvest into delivering benefits for the customers and for the environment. But, you know, Carl, people around this area, they want to see change. They demand to see improvements. But it could take years for this to go through the courts, and time is not what is on the side of the wildlife living in these waters.
Kate, thanks. Yes, we'll watch developments on that. Thank you for the update. There could be drastic consequences, warns the Welsh Government, after the European Union has proposed new tariffs on steel imports. 50% could be imposed on steel from the UK, a move that will come as a further blow to the industry, which has already been hit by levies on steel into the American market. Well, our national correspondent Rob Osborne joins me in the studio now. I mean, fair to say, Rob, real concern about this announcement.
Yes, we are in the age of the tariff war, and this is just another chapter in that war, Carl. But to say the word concerning is, I think, putting it slightly mildly. Look, what is happening here is that the EU wants to cut the amount of steel that's coming into the bloc from outside countries. We're no longer members of the EU, so we're seen as an outside country. And you can see why that would be concerning for the UK, because so much of the steel we export goes to the EU. That's why governments, workers and unions are really worried.
We don't know what the impacts could be. It could be huge, it could be minimal, but it's important that we get government support very early on to stop it. Thousands of jobs and thousands of communities rely on steel jobs, and it's important that they're protected at every stage.
So, Rob, what's the government saying about this?
Well, the government, of course, will have this high on their agenda. Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister, today saying that he will offer strong support to the industry. Close to home, Rebecca Evans was answering an emergency question in the Senedd today. She is in charge of the economy here in Wales, or the Minister responsible for it. She is the one who said it could have drastic consequences at a time when the sector is under immense pressure. We know what that pressure is because we covered it so much, haven't we, about that place. You can see on a screen right now, Port Talbot and the other steel working facilities in Wales. The clout here is not with the Welsh Government, it is with the UK Government. There's a lot of lobbying behind the scenes, conversations ongoing, but the timing is pretty difficult. There is an election around the corner. Already hearing Plaid Cymru saying maybe we should rejoin the single market, but questions certainly as we transition to greener steel, what impact this could have.
Yes, absolutely. OK, Rob, thank you for the update on that tonight. The Shadow Welsh Secretary has said the Conservatives would roll back devolution to address so-called wanton spending in Wales. Mims Davies was speaking at her party's conference in Manchester today. The party's attentions in Wales will now turn to salvaging votes ahead of next year's Senedd election, as Rob mentioned then. Well, here's our reporter Katie Fenton with more.
The fourth and final day of a Conservative conference with a difference. A party so used to defending its legacy, now figuring out its future. But that future in Wales hangs in the balance. A recent ITV Wales poll has them trailing in fourth, something the Shadow Welsh Secretary acknowledged today.
We've got the fight of our life in Wales and we're up for that fight.
Speaking alongside her Scotland and Northern Ireland counterparts, Mims Davies criticised Welsh Labour's spending on devolved issues.
We have forgotten about outcomes, and what we need to do is roll back the frontiers of those devolved areas. Wanton spending when it comes to Wales. Everybody knows somebody who's waiting in pain and in vain in Wales because of the NHS, which is being devolved.
The Welsh Government claims public services are under strain after 14 years of Conservative rule in Westminster. And spending was centre stage for today's headline act. Kemi Badenoch claiming she'll do things differently to her opponents.
Whether it's Starmer, Farage, Corbyn or Davey, all these men are shaking the same magic money tree. Following the same failed playbook, no plan for growth, no honesty about the scale of the challenges, and it always leads to the same result. More government, more taxes, more debt. It is irresponsible, it's cynical, and it's why Britain needs Conservatives back in charge.
Welsh figures hope events here will bode well back home.
I think this conference will have made a difference. I think, we've obviously got devolution, but when it comes to things like the economy in the UK, you can't separate each country out so individually as we're working as one big union. So I think some of the economic policies that Kemi's brought out today and brought out this week by other shadow ministers, I think will have a positive effect on us in the doorstep, so we can go out and talk to the people of Wales about how we want to grow the economy.
As the conference comes down and people head home, the test of its success now begins. For the Welsh Conservatives, that verdict comes in just 7 months' time. Katie Fenton, ITV News in Manchester.
Still to come on tonight's programme, Dean's out and about with Welsh music royalty.
I'm on the stage at the Swansea Arena for Mal Pope's homecoming for a charity that's incredibly close to his heart.
And the front may have cleared, but we've held on to a fair amount of cloud. What does the rest of the week and into the weekend have on offer? Full forecast in just a bit.
But first, plans to close 4 schools in Flintshire have moved a step closer despite widespread criticism. 95% of parents voted against the proposal to close the Catholic schools in favour of a new super school costing £55 million. Joanne Gallagher has been to speak to some of those parents and sent this report.
Just keep walking.
Claire Smith walks her daughters the short distance to St Anthony's School every day. For her, it's important.
I believe that primary school children should be able to walk to school. I think it's really important for their nervous system. It calms my girls down in the morning. So I think they should have access to a local school so they can make local friends, have play dates out of school, you know, build those friendships as well.
If the Catholic primary is forced to close this year, Sophia and Megan will have to go elsewhere. It's a conversation the family don't want to contemplate.
St Anthony's is a really small, nurturing school. It's got great values and I feel like all the children are really kind, especially with my daughter has cerebral palsy, so obviously bullying and other children being unkind is a huge concern, but we've not had any problems within St Anthony's. It really is just a lovely little school.
Flintshire Council and the Catholic Diocese of Wrexham want to build a £55 million super school for 3 to 18-year-olds. To do it, 3 primaries in Saltney, Mould and Flint would go, and it's the main topic of conversation amongst mums.
I know you're concerned that the children haven't really been consulted about this, have they?
No, they've said that there was only 20 children spoken to about it, and obviously all of them were against it, but none of their opinions have been taken.
Do you feel as though your voices are just not being heard?
Yeah, they're not being heard. We're not. This is a tick box exercise completely. They just want to plough on to the next stage. They're not interested. And when you're taxpayers, and this is what we are paying for our children's education, we are basically being pushed out over the border.
You're angry about this, aren't you?
I am very angry, I'm fuming.
St Anthony's is in Flintshire, but it's so near the border with England that many parents that we've spoken to today have said they'll take their youngsters out of the Welsh education system and they'll send them to school in Chester.
People will be leaving Catholic education and people will be leaving education in Wales.
Carolyn has a child at the school and is also a governor.
We weren't consulted at any stage of this.
Now, the council say, the diocese say, numbers are dropping, you're going to get a super school.
The children have roots in their little schools. I don't see how sending children 6 miles up the road or 13 miles up the road to another school is going to make them feel safe.
The boundaries have been set by Flintshire parents, and they're adamant they're not being listened to.
So Joanne joins us live from outside Flintshire Council headquarters tonight. So Joanne, what has the council had to say about the concerns that you've been hearing there today?
Well, we've actually got some late-breaking news for you this evening, Carl. There's been a scrutiny committee going on for 4 hours behind me here in Flintshire, and they've actually just decided that they're going to ask the ruling cabinet to halt these proposals. Now, this was not expected to happen. This is quite the U-turn. The councillors here who have just been leaving this evening will go forward and ask the ruling cabinet to go back to the drawing board. They will ask the Diocese of Wrexham to come up with alternative proposals that will keep Catholic education in Saltney and in Mould. Now, those details are sparse at the moment, that's all we know, but this will be welcome news to the mums that we heard from in my report. As you know, 95% of people who answered a consultation said that they didn't want this merger and this super school to go ahead. Well, the councillors here this evening have taken that on board, they've listened to them and they've decided to make some changes. OK,
Joanne, thank you for that. That story developing while we're on air. Thank you again. Next, extra help for those living with obesity must be strengthened. That's according to a Senedd committee report, which has revealed some are waiting as long as 5 years to access weight loss support on the NHS. Demand for these services have soared, with the Aneurin Bevan Health Board taking the decision to suspend non-urgent referrals to prioritise those with the most severe health concerns. Issa Farfor reports.
It was me in May 2022. Wow. And in December 2022, just before I joined Slimming World.
When Sue was struggling to manage her weight, a referral to a weight loss group changed her life.
Complete life changing. The way that I look at food, the way that I eat, the way I plan my meals, family, friends. I'm more active now. I've got support system around me. So yeah, everything, the way I view food in general, I'm so much more healthier now than I was before.
But now any new referrals for non-urgent weight management services have been suspended across Aneurin Bevan University Health Board. It says that's due to a significant rise in demand, leading to long waiting times across the service.
Well, the scheme gave me my first 12 weeks towards my 5-stone weight loss. I think it's really important that it is put back.
And it's not just affecting one health board. Obesity is one of Wales's biggest and most expensive health challenges, with a new Senedd report saying urgent action is needed to tackle this growing crisis. Most recent figures show 62% of adults in Wales are overweight or obese, and 25% of children have weight issues before they even start school. Experts say the true scale could be even higher, potentially making Wales the most obese nation in the UK.
We're anxious too that the way we record data in Wales actually might be underestimating the problem. So I think, is it a crisis? I think anything which is affecting so many people's lives in such a profound way, and the lack of response to those, has to be seen as urgently needing our attention and focus.
In response, the Welsh Government says our new Healthy Weight, Healthy Wales delivery plan sets out actions to reduce obesity over the next 2 years. We will consider the committee's findings and respond formally in due course. While many face delays in the health system, others are turning to community-led projects like this. Man v Fat football team, combining exercise, friendly competition and weight loss.
Loads of the guys who come here, they understand why things have gone wrong in terms of their weight. They can identify that, but what they can't do is they can't step over that into progress. Man v Fat gives them that kind of focus to work towards, and these lads have been together for many, many years now, and they really care about each other, and in caring for each other they care about themselves, which is something we don't always want to admit.
With obesity rates rising and services under strain, the message from today's report is clear. Wales can't afford to wait. Issa Farfor, ITV News.
Well, thanks for watching this Wednesday evening. There's time now for a quick look ahead to the ITV Evening News.
Coming up on the evening news, scrap stamp duty. The Tories promise to voters if they get back into power. Kemi Badenoch's announcement pleased the audience at the Tory party conference. We'll look at how it would be paid for and how voters might respond. We speak to presenter Myleene Klass after a man's found guilty of stalking her. And we'll catch up with Daniel Craig to hear about his role in the new Knives Out film. Would you join me for those stories and more at 6:30?
But first, Welsh musician Mal Pope is preparing to take to the stage in Swansea tonight in a concert to raise vital funds for the neonatal unit that cared for his late grandson. The money will be used to refurbish accommodation next to Singleton Hospital, giving families somewhere to stay while their baby is receiving specialist care. Well, Dean Thomas Welsh is live for us tonight at the rehearsals at the arena there in Swansea. Dean.
Yes, Carl, as you know, I always thought my skills were fitting for the stage. Alas, not for me tonight. This is Mal Pope's homecoming concert. And as you can see behind me, there are plenty of empty seats, but just give it a few hours and those seats will be full for a concert raising money for a charity that's close to Mal's heart.
You still got the power to make my world stand still.
Mal Pope is no stranger to the spotlight. A seasoned performer who thrives under pressure, he'll soon play to a packed house at Swansea's 3,000 capacity arena. But this year's homecoming concert is different. It's a deeply emotional tribute, a performance dedicated to the memory of his grandson, who tragically passed away after being born prematurely. This isn't just a concert, it's a powerful and poignant celebration of a short life that left an everlasting impact on Mal.
It's also the end of a road for me that I've been walking for the last 18 months. My grandson Gulliver sadly passed away. He was born prematurely. He was with us for 8 days, and I was asked to help lead a project to try and raise £160,000 to refurbish 5 two-bedroom houses, the Cutch Close on Swansea Singleton Hospital Estate. And this concert, we'll have done it.
Cutch Close, based at Swansea Singleton Hospital, allows parents to stay close to their children who are receiving neonatal care. Money already generated by Mal's fundraising has transformed the homes with new furniture and fittings. The project has allowed the Mumbles performer to channel his grief into something other than his music.
You know, there's a big new record out of mine called Best of Times. And it says, best of times, the worst of times, these are the only times we have. And this is what this is all about. You know, there are so many sad stories in the world, and we don't deny those. But sometimes it's just good to celebrate, and this is the best of times. And let's show the world we're full of love.
As Mal prepares to take to the stage once again, it's clear this concert is about more than just music. It's a testament to love, loss, and the enduring power of family. Well, I'm delighted to say Mal's taken some time out of rehearsing to join me on the stage. Mal, look, what a wonderful evening. It's going to be emotional, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be a roller coaster of emotions, but a culmination of so much hard work from so many generous people. £160,000. That's what we've raised, sort of for my benefit, for Gulliver, but so many other people have been through this as well. So it's been fantastic.
Some great people on stage with you tonight as well.
Yeah, Elisa Bonagur all the way from Nashville, Graham Kendrick who wrote Shine Jesus Shine. We've got some great. We've got the Morriston ED Choir, the emergency department choir. They're looking great, aren't they? Looking great. Apparently they have got cover up there, so if anything goes wrong, don't worry, Morriston's sorted. Yeah, but it's just so excited. It is the culmination, and it's going to be lots of deep breathing tonight and to get us through it.
Yeah, well, man, look, we wish you the best tonight. Really enjoy it.
Thank you very
And well
much.
done for raising all that money. But also joining us is Jonathan. Jonathan, you're head of the ED Choir here. From humble beginnings in 2019 to playing in Swansea Arena.
I know, and it's wonderful for the girls because they've been involved in helping to raise thousands of pounds in their own right for charity up to this point. But to have such a big figure tonight to be presenting to a charity, and also having frontline NHS workers here meeting the world of entertainment on such a big scale is fantastic. I'm very proud of them. And we should have a wonderful evening.
Fantastic. Well, straight from the ward to rehearsals. Now we're going to get a bit of music from the choir. That'll be wonderful.
Sounding great, and I say 1, 2.
These are the best of times and the worst of times, but the only times we have. So let's raise a symphony of harmony and fill this world with love. These are the best of times and the worst of times, but the only times we have. So let's raise a symphony of harmony and fill this world with love.
Wow. Oh, Mal, Dean, that was lovely. I was bopping along in the studio there. Thank you so much, guys. And I want to know where you get those glasses from as well, Mal. See you later. Right, how do you follow that? Well, before the weather, a reminder that you can get the latest stories and analysis from our journalists delivered straight to your inbox every week. Camera phones at the ready. Here's Andrea with all the details.
Just scan the QR code on your screen now where you can sign up on Substack. You only have to do it once, and after that we'll automatically email you our weekly newsletter where you can read more in-depth analysis and insight from our reporters into the biggest stories around Wales. It's completely free to sign up, and you can read it on your phone and tablet too. Just scan the QR code to sign up, or if you're already on Substack, search ITV Wales.
There we go. Right, time to look at the weather forecast now with all the details in the forecast tonight. Here's James Wright.
outbreaks of ancient sites will gradually settle into an evening of pizza plates al fresco. TUI sponsors ITV Cymru Wales weather.
Good evening. Some nice settled weather to look forward to over the next few days. We have had a little bit of a front drifting through. We were hoping we'd see a little more sunshine behind it, but I think over the next few days that's looking pretty certain. Lots of settled weather around, as I say, but maybe turning a little bit cooler. We've had this front lurking nearby. Like I say, we were hoping that it would clear properly, but it sort of lurked across parts of Devon and Cornwall. We've just had a bit of an overhang, particularly across southern parts of Wales with that cloud. Now, high pressure dominates through the rest of the week into the weekend. Bits of cloud trapped inside there, but certainly no rain on the horizon. So as far as overnight goes, yes, we've got some clear spells around and about, get this little feed of cloud every so often. Where we hold on to clear skies by the end of the night, we are looking at a reasonably cool one. Parts of Powys around 6 or 7 Celsius. We've got that onshore breeze more like 10 to 12. As far as tomorrow goes, then a bit of a mixed bag. Might see a little bit of mist up on the higher ground. There should be some good bright and sunny spells, but as you can see, there is cloud around and about. It's just going to float its way down on that west-northwesterly breeze. As far as temperatures go, across southern and eastern parts of the country, I think we could get up to 17 and 18 Celsius. We've got the lower dew point air across the north and the west, a little bit fresher here, about 14 or 15 Celsius, which still isn't too bad for the time of year. Thursday into Friday, kind of rinse and repeat. The high pressure starting to move its way towards us. Very light winds, so we might see some mist early on in the day, and it is going to be a touch fresher, highs of 14 to 17.
TUI sponsors ITV Cymru Wales weather.
And that is Wales at 6. Rob Osborne will be here with your late headlines after the news at 10. But from all of us on the programme tonight, thanks so much for watching. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.